The COROS Vertix 2, the COROS APEX Pro. What's the difference between these two watches, and is one better than the other? Well, let's take a look. Before we get into it though, I need to let you know COROS did send the Vertix 2 to review. I didn't pay for this watch, so they're not going to see this video or anything like that. The Apex Pro, however, I did purchase with my own money. It's my watch. I really like this thing. But this is not going to be a biased video. I'm going to give the honest thoughts. So this video is going to be all about the differences between the Vertix 2 and the Apex Pro. If you want to see the full reviews, top right corner, you can see the full reviews of both of these watches. This isn't going to be a full review, so let's just get into the differences. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Probably the biggest difference between the two watches is $200. The COROS Apex Pro sells for $499. The COROS Vertix 2 sells for $699. So it's quite a bit more. There are some different features with this watch that you get that you do not get on this watch. And part of that extra money that you pay for the Vertix 2, you do get a larger display. So the display is 1.4 inches versus 1.2 inches on the Apex Pro. Both 64 colors, both always on touchscreen displays. You know, they're both very easy to use and operate, and they both look really good too. The quality is nice. Obviously with the larger screen, the font's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit easier to see on the Vertix 2, just a little bit. So if eyesight is a concern, you might want the larger display of the Vertix 2. Real quick, if you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button, it really does help out tremendously, and I would just really appreciate it. And on that display, there is another difference. The Apex Pro is a sapphire glass, which is just indestructible. I mean, this stuff is amazing. However, it gets even better on the Vertix 2. It's a diamond-like coating sapphire glass. So again, more rugged, more durable, more scratch resistant, so it is a better quality glass. And continuing along that theme of the ruggedness or durability of the watch, the Vertix 2 and the Apex Pro both have a grade 5 titanium alloy bezel. However, the Vertix 2 has a PVD coating on top of that, so again, a little more durable, a little more rugged. The Vertix 2 also sports a titanium alloy with PVD coating cover, whereas the Apex Pro is aluminum. So again, a little more rugged, a little more durable on the Vertix 2. Both watches come with the same silicone band. You can also get nylon for both of these. The difference is basically the quick release band on the Vertix 2 is 26 millimeters, where on the Apex Pro it's 22. So it's just a little bit larger, a little bit wider on the Vertix 2. Next, we come to the size of the watches. It's pretty clear to see if you take a look at the watches on my wrist. The Vertix 2 is quite a bit bigger than the Apex Pro. It's a little bit thicker, and it's definitely a wider diameter. We've got 50.3 on the Vertix 2 versus 47 on the Apex Pro. With that size though comes a little extra weight. The Vertix 2, when I threw it on my scale, shows up at 88 grams. The website says 89 grams. I'm showing 88. I don't know. The Apex Pro comes in at 58 grams on my scale, and it shows up as 59 grams on the website. So again, just a little bit of difference there. So obviously the Apex Pro is quite a bit lighter. It's a smaller watch. It's quite a bit lighter. I did notice the size of the Vertix 2 while I was testing it, wearing this watch. Being 100% honest, I found myself going back to my Apex Pro because it was a little more comfortable to wear. That's just my personal thought there, but this is definitely a bigger watch. So both watches connect to your phone via Bluetooth. No changes there, but a big difference in the Vertix 2, which is actually different from the Vertix 1 as well, but it is different than the Apex Pro, and I'm going to give this win category to the Apex Pro. So Apex Pro, you can connect to heart rate sensors, foot pods, bike sensors via Bluetooth or ANT+. So that's really nice because there's a lot of great sensors out there that are ANT+. I don't know why they did it. Vertix 2, only Bluetooth, no ANT+. So if you have ANT+ bike sensors, which I know a lot of you do, you can't connect them. You gotta have Bluetooth. So that's a big win for the Apex Pro. The next area where there's a little bit of differences, and this is kind of just really a minuscule difference, I guess, but it could be important to you, is the working temperatures. So the Vertix 2 can go down to -22 degrees Fahrenheit or -30 degrees Celsius. So if you're gonna be doing some Arctic exploring and mountaineering, whatever you wanna call it, this is the watch for you for sure. On the high end, however, it goes up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius. So again, probably going to be great for just about any desert environment you're going to go to. However, the Apex Pro goes a little bit warmer. It actually goes up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius. However, for the low, it goes to 14 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. So there is quite a bit of a difference there between the operating temperatures. The Vertix 2 is going to get you lower, Apex Pro is going to get you higher. Just depends on which one's more important to you. And the same thing can be said for the storage temperatures. The Vertix 2 goes down to -22 just like before, whereas the Apex Pro only goes down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit, but up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't know why you'd be storing either of these watches in that kind of environment, but I guess you can. All right, and now the biggest difference in the watches, aside from price, is the battery life. We got to get to it. It's just, both watches are completely amazing. They both work wonders. They both charge in less than 2 hours is what the website says, and I found that to be pretty true. All right, so the differences. Let's start with Ultra Max mode, the absolute highest battery life that you can get with these watches. Vertix 2, 240 hours. You shouldn't need more than that. The Apex Pro, 100 hours, which is also amazing. I mean, that's what, how do you know? That's like what, 4 days? More than 4 days? It's ridiculous. So standard GPS, you know, GPS QZSS, you've got 190 hours on the Vertix 2 and 40 hours on the Apex Pro. So both really good, but obviously this one's a little bit better. And now here is where the Vertix 2 really moves above the Apex Pro. This is where these features here are not available on the Apex Pro. This is just the Vertix 2. So the all systems on GPS, that's, you know, GPS, QZSS, Galileo, Beidou, all of them on at the same time. This one will get you 90 hours of GPS, which is crazy. It's going to be incredibly accurate, but it gets even better. So with the COROS Vertix 2, it has the dual frequency chipset. Basically, it's the most accurate GPS watch on the market. Well, now there is one more watch out there that has the dual frequency. Haven't had the chance to compare those two, but the Vertix 2 was incredibly accurate with the dual frequency in my testing. It's designed for those, you know, rock climbers doing multi-pitches where your GPS can kind of get a little bit wonky. But the dual frequency, you can get 50 hours of battery life. It's just, I don't know. COROS, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's working. And now for daily use, just regular smartwatch usage, text messages, you know, that kind of thing. The Apex Pro, you'll get 30 days, which is great. And the Vertix 2, you get 60 days, just double. So battery life on both watches is really good, but if you need extreme battery life, the win goes to the Vertix 2. Both the Vertix 2 and the Apex Pro have an optical heart rate sensor. I did find that the Vertix 2 seemed to be just maybe a little more accurate. It seemed to pick up the heart rate adjustments and changes a little bit quicker than the Apex Pro. So I'm going to give the victory there to the Vertix 2 in that category also. And moving on to navigational features, both watches now feature global landscape, topographic, and hybrid maps. You can download specific regions, put them on the watches wherever you're going to be. The navigation works really well too. It's very easy to move the screen around with your fingers and see where you are. The terrain features are nice. They've actually recently updated the display to be a little bit more, have a little more contrast on the map so you can see the lines a little bit better. And it's just really, it works really well. And now for a couple features the Vertix 2 has that are not available on the Apex Pro. Not an option. So on the Vertix 2, you get an electrocardiogram sensor, you get an HRV index, you can have Wi-Fi on the watch, and you can now put music directly onto the watch. So those 4 things are important to you. You're gonna need the Vertix 2. Both watches can control the Insta360, the GoPro 9, GoPro 10, I think there's another one. But yeah, that works on both watches now. And finally, the last difference that I can find between the two watches is the activity modes. They're largely the same, but there's one activity that you can do on the Vertix 2 that you cannot do on the Apex Pro. You can't even do it on the Vertix right now. So on the Vertix 2, you can have a multi-pitch climb mode. So if you are a rock climber, you are serious about that, you're going to need the Vertix 2 if you're going to stay in the COROS line because you cannot do it on any other COROS watches. So there we have it. That's the differences between the COROS Vertix 2 and the COROS Apex Pro. Is the Vertix 2 worth the $200 more from the Apex Pro? Well, look over those features I told you about, and if one of those is something that you need or is very important, then obviously yes, that's going to be more important to you. So it's up to you to decide which one's better, which one is right for you. I have been very happy with the Apex Pro. It has all the features I need as a trail and ultra runner. I'm not a rock climber. I'm not going into, you know, negative 22-degree temperatures. So for me personally, the Apex Pro is a perfect choice, perfect fit for me. But bottom line, both are phenomenal watches. Both have incredibly insane battery life. Both have really accurate GPS and elevation measuring, just really good. the optical heart rate sensors have gotten pretty darn good on both watches, with this one being a little bit better. So no matter what you choose, if you choose a COROS APEX Pro, a Vertix 2, you're gonna be happy, you're gonna like the watch. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope it has been helpful. If you did find it helpful, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help out a lot. Thank you for watching, I do appreciate you. If you wanna take a look at the full review of the COROS Vertix 2, right over here, you can take a look at that. And then on this side will be a playlist of COROS videos. You can find out all sorts of stuff about COROS, how-tos, watches, all of that right over there. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.